is a snowball fight.
Fluffy Oreo.
It's funny when dogs' eyes are like that because it looks like they look in different directions. Do you see it?
Yeah, I know.
Why are you bullying my dog?
It's cute.
Yeah,
Why do you think it's a negative thing?
Yeah, Kenzie.
Why'd you go negative? It was positive. I think it's totally adorbs.
Adorbs.
All right, so
Negative times a negative equals.
we need to get split into 2 teams. Equal number of teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. There are 10. So we need 5 and 5. 2 groups of 5.
Oreo chose this side, so I'm going on this
2 groups of 5.
We just stay here with
Team
you.
captain.
That's my job.
You go over there, little children.
2 groups of 5. Let's go. Hey, this is Ignite Olympics on the line. This is our points for Ignite Olympics.
Well, yeah, I'm leading with 1 point. I'm leading last place.
We need 2 teams of 5.
You guys are all middle. 1, 2, 3,
I have 1
4,
point.
5. Middle versus high. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You guys ready?
He's a high school.
Connor's in high school.
Okay, well,
I didn't show up for the
middle and 1 high against high. Well, y'all together, and then we want Lucas.
All right, Lucas, you're over here. I would recommend not holding a dog during this game.
Dog down.
Okay.
It's not so.
This is gonna be so brutal.
Here is how the game works. This is called Snowball Fight. It is our Olympics for the day. I'm gonna move this up here.
Like I said, throw it. Let's do this.
Yeah, you're like one of my friends said.
So the purpose of the game, everyone listen up, I'm gonna explain the rules. There are 20 pieces of paper on this side. There are 20 pieces of paper on that side. You are gonna have 30 seconds to get as many papers onto that side as possible. All right?
This game.
So,
Talk about that.
we need to make sure, you need to make sure, and it's just, they're gonna be spread out throughout the whole thing, so let's just spread them out. You can do whatever you want to get the snowballs on that side. Whenever we call time up, if you throw more on the other side, they will bounce back to your side when we go to count.
Hey, can we add like a rule? Like if you get hit by a ground?
Nope.
Oh, that's a cool one though.
So, that's in gameplay. We probably want to scooch it down on the other side of the trash can.
If you make it in there, 20 points.
This is like life or death.
So your job is to get all the papers on the other side. This is the middle line. You guys see the middle line?
Yeah.
So you have to stand back behind your line there. You have to stand back behind your line there. Yep, everyone over there behind. You can't hold any right now. All right, I need a 30-second timer for one of you. Ashley, you can do whatever you want to get them onto that side. All right? When Ashley, it's very loud.
I can be loud.
When Ashley yells time's up, if you continue to throw them over, then you will get the ones you threw over back on your side plus an extra penalty. So do not continue throwing when time's up. Does everyone understand the rules?
Yeah.
It's called Snowball Fight.
Hey, whoa. We are not here.
Here we go. Ready, set, go!
Get over there. Get him over there.
Flying.
Go, get him over there.
Oh man, it's gonna be close. Actually, maybe not.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
No more. All right. Now let's count. Dina, you count this side over here. This one's on this side. This one's on that side. Bunch all yours up, and we're gonna count them.
1, 2, 3.
Count all of yours. Yeah, Dina, make sure. Oh,
How many we got?
you guys won so much.
6, 7, 8,
How many they
9,
got?
12, 13.
Oh yeah.
They won. You guys won by so much.
Yeah.
They only have 13. That means you guys should have what? 27 over here.
No need to be me.
So
People.
the middle school group won. So plus Connor. We have to play again though to find our Ignite standings winner. So you will all place in the Olympics. So we need to do the same thing. 20 on each side. You guys got eliminated. Way to go. So 20 over here, 20 over there. Let's bunch them up.
How many dad?
6. Yeah,
11, 12,
the middle schooler is destroyed.
14,
Wait, hold on.
Wait,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
just start bunching up so you can count them easier. Put them in like groups of 5.
Oh, I forgot to count.
You forgot how to count?
Yes.
Sounds about right.
18, 9, Sammy, you need one more. 1, 2, 3. There's only 9.
I can
Wait,
count.
hold on. 3,
Wait,
2,
how's this gonna work?
6, 8, 10, 12,
We have
14,
We need 3 more. Where are they?
17.
They're hiding.
20. We have 22.
Alright, we have 17 over here.
We're missing one.
There. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We need 20 on each side.
There's one over there on top of the thing.
Alright. 20.
So now the winning team needs to split up. Is this how you're splitting up? 2 on that side, 3 on this side?
There's an odd number.
Is this how we're doing it? All right.
I'll go over here.
Well, no, we're gonna.
No.
Why?
This is unfair.
So, oh no, you guys are gonna get. You guys are gonna get an adult on your team.
Yes.
So, which adult do you want on your team?
Ashley.
Ashley.
I got strong arms.
Smart, smart.
I will need to that one.
So we got 20. Let's scatter them. Yeah, I guess we'll need a new timekeeper then. You got it, Dina? All right. 30 seconds. Spread them out. Get back to your line. Back to your lines. Back to your lines. A different rule this time. You can only throw. You can only throw 1 at a time. You can't grab 7 and throw them all at once. 1 at a time. Well, 2. You can have each hand.
Okay, that's fine.
You can only hold 1 per hand.
Can we kick?
You can kick.
Whoa.
Kicking's okay.
Ooh, a new ball.
A new snowball. Throw it. Throw it. Throw it.
So if I kick, can I kick multiple?
Yes.
So I can only throw 1, but kick.
Yeah. Are we ready?
Yeah.
You have a timer? Get set. What? You can still kick. Yes. Ready, set, go. We're watching you. Only 1 throw at a time.
And we can check.
Oh man. How much time we got?
4 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
No more! All right, let's count up. Oh, this is the middle line. It is on this side. That's yours. What about this one? Wait.
That's on that side.
That's on that side, yep. Perfect. All right, count them up. Count them up. Count them all up.
Okay, I'll count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
We won.
You won, all right.
Or 17.
So now, Emma, oh wait, well you guys are the top 2. We have to figure out though, who's gonna get 3rd place in our Olympics. Are you ready for how we're gonna figure this out?
I don't know.
You guys we need 10 in this space, 10 in this space, this brown space, and 10 over in this space right over here.
Okay, I got that.
So we need 10 over here.
Let's end it a deathmatch. This is my side. 6, 7, 8,
I
9,
know.
10. Then the rest go over there.
But wait, there's an odd number still.
So we have 3 sections. So Madeline, you're over in this one. Your goal is to fill up the other sections, all right? Keep them out of yours.
I think this is 10.
It's the same rules as before. John, this is your section. Connor, yours. Madeline, yours. Whoever has the least amount in their section, by the end, will get 3rd place. Yeah, behind the line over there. Are you guys ready? This is for 3rd place. Ready, set, go. Are we doing a countdown? Okay, good. I didn't think about it.
Okay. No.
They're just fighting against each other.
No.
This is to decide 3rd place. Yes, he has 0. Good job, Connor. All right, so now we have to find our grand champion. Emma and Alexis are going against each other for the top prize today. We need everyone's help real quick to get 15 on each side. We don't need to have 20 still. 15 paper on each side.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So let's count over here.
11. 11 here. 3, 4.
Do you have 15? Count them up. 15.
15 over there already.
15 there. This is for the Ignite gold medal for today, for the Ignite Olympics. Do you have 15 over here, including all these?
10, 14, 15.
Same rules as the first game.
As the first game, so we
As the first one.
almost won. So
No, I mean that it's just one-on-one, but you got to get it on the other side.
we can shove them over.
You can kick, but you can only throw one at a time. Are we ready? This is for the title for the day. 3, 2, 1, go! Cheer them on. Boo. Boo. Emma's got cheerleaders. No. Look at her go. How are we doing? On time.
You guys can start kicking. Kick. 3, 2, 1.
All right, no more. All right, let's count them up. This one's on this side. This one is on that side. Count them up. I think Alexis won. Alexis is the winner! So Alexis got first, Emma got second, and Connor got third.
Oh my gosh.
All right, hey, we're gonna head over to the youth room. So let's clean up our mess. How about that?
No.
Let's clean up our mess. We have a box right here to put them all in. Please put all the papers in the box. Let's clean up our mess. Let's leave things better than we found them. That's our rule of thumb. Leave things in places better.
Why are you going to the youth room?
Because we gotta do our Olympics scoreboard. Oops, excuse me. Head over to, yeah. We'll leave that there for now.
You know where the cups are? I need a cup.
I don't know where they are.
Alright.
So let's head over to the youth room for our Olympic scoring.
What?
Whoops.
The first two we're doing right now.
Do, 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 do.
Whatever. I'm the real winner.
Who's the real winner? I don't think that's true. In fact, it's the exact opposite of true, because you are the real loser. You lost in the first round.
Nope.
The very first round you lost.
Not,
Like-
I have
like-
a dog, so
Handedly lost. A massive losing is what happened to you.
no.
Yes.
Are we all in here? No, we're still missing a few. Come on in, come on in.
Can I please have dog? No. Dog. Hey. No fighting over her.
Yeah, I'm stealing the whole couch.
Oh gosh, and you
Consent.
I
said no.
It was just a paper cup.
Oh,
Did
Did you have consent?
I needed.
Are we all in here?
Oh look, it's my amazing drawing from last time.
Yeah, we're all here. Cool. All right, how about I close the door real quick?
Yeah, they're cool.
So couple things. First off, let's go ahead and do our Ignite Olympics winners. So, everybody together.
Oreo gets first place.
Everyone together. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. All right, so we have our February winners right now. In first place today was Alexis. Come on up, Alexis.
No, it's
And she got 3 points in January, but this is February. It's a new month, so it's a first-time February getter. Wow, come on. It's a first-time point getter in February. So write your name and 3 points. Second place was Emma. Come on up, Emma.
Emma.
And Emma got points in January, but not in February yet, right? It's another first-time February getter. Woo! And you get 2 points and no smiley faces.
Smiley face.
All right. And in third place was Connor. And Connor already has points this month, so he's going to just add his total. Way to go, Connor.
Hey, smiley
2
face
points for
right
Emma. Connor out a point. We now have a 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a 5-way tie for first place. You guys ready? Lily, John, Mackenzie, Connor, and Alexis all have 3 points for February.
What is she doing?
Huh?
Giving me high fives. Now she's giving me kisses.
So we're gonna head out there. Saturday
What?
is bowling. Who's going bowling Saturday?
Is that the new one?
You gotta take me.
You guys going bowling?
Yes.
All right, Saturday we're gonna go bowling. The top 3-point getters bowling will also get points for the Olympics. The top scorer will get 3 points. Second place 2. Third best scorer
I
gets
feel
1.
like the person with the lowest score should also get something.
You think?
Yeah.
They can lose a point on the Olympics.
makes us feel better.
Great idea, Kinsey. They lose a point on the Olympics. I love
Still
it.
have a point.
Fantastic. They get -1. You can write your name and put -1 on the board.
Lucas would do good at that.
Yeah.
So that will be our Olympics for Saturday. Also, next week we do have our last Olympics of the month. So we will hopefully get some clarity this weekend and next week about who our top 3-point getter, our top person is. Because first place will get a gift card. All right, to a few. There's a few different options that you get to choose a gift card to, and we'll have that list for you next week. Huh?
Does Oreo get a gift card?
Oreo does not get a gift card. Because I don't think Oreo's in middle school or high school. So.
Yeah, he is.
So we are now. So today's a little bit of a special day.
Oh my gosh, Oreo.
Today's a little bit of a special day. We have actually the worship team out there is gonna lead us in a couple songs. So we're gonna go sit up in the front 3 rows in the middle section. Head on out front 2 or 3 rows only, please.
Sitting in the fourth row from the side. You're not.
Front 2 or 3 rows, please.
Sassy.
Wait, why are they here?
Huh? They did their rehearsal tonight instead of last night, and so I
The snow.
asked them if they'd like to lead us in some songs, because they're really good. Remember the front 2 rows. Front 2 or 3 rows, please. Front 2 or 3 rows, please.
I'm going in.
Don't. But I think we should do the front 2 rows. Front 2 rows. Front 2 rows.
Why do you hate it?
Huh? Well, if you're spread out too far, it's not good to be spread out that far. So front 2 rows, please, everybody. Front 2 rows.
They said 3.
I changed it. That's the front row. Yeah, you get extra points if you sit in the front row.
Yeah, there's a bunch
how
of,
long?
there's a bunch of people.
Huh?
How long do
I didn't say what the points go to.
Oh.
I didn't say they're for the Olympics.
What are we talking about?
The front 2 rows.
Olympics points by sitting closer.
Yes. Extra points all around.
What about like every time they clap, they get a point? Point. Yeah.
With the first song, that's a lot of points on the board.
Everyone has 4,000 points.
I'm gonna hand this off to you for a song. Can you take that?
You want me to just film you?
Just me.
It's facing yourself.
No, it's not.
Just kidding.
But it could be.
Are we, you don't need it, Everybody stand up. We're gonna have some fun worshiping together. Like I said, this is a clapping song. Let's get those hands together. The dogs too. Clap. so much that we get to come together anytime and worship you, that you inhabit our presence, that you fill us back up when we've been having a hard week, and you remind us that you're bigger than anything going on, that there's promises in Scripture that you've made to us, that you're going to be with us, even when things are confusing, even when things are hard. We know that you're the God of everything that goes on. And we're so thankful we get to come and worship you and learn about you tonight. It's in the name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Would you please be seated?
Probably whenever we launch a new series, we'll do songs in here, whether it's with the whole group or with just like Jeff and Nate, but we'll make sure we're in here getting to experience this really full act of worship. But I want to start with this question, and correct me if I'm wrong, but being in school is difficult. Would you guys agree with me? Yes. You have difficult times in school being a student in middle school or high school? And in fact, what I want you to do right now is take like 10 seconds. You have my permission to talk right now. Yeah, I know. Now, like you need my permission to talk. But for the next 10 seconds, I want you to share the most like stressful thing about school with your neighbor.
Right now?
Right now. Yeah, you got 10 seconds. Go. Share the most stressful thing about school.
Not now, really. Like, in general?
In general, school. It's just the most stressful thing. Share it with your neighbor. Take a little bit of time.
School was only the best for you. Well, I see that.
Right, can't get enough stuff done. Or like, or if like we can't
All right, thank you. All right, so we'll bring it back now. So, I did not obviously hear all of you, but I'm sure one of the things that was, whether it was this word was used or not, but a big part of what you guys were talking about was probably had to do with pressure. Something, whether it's finals, I think I heard someone say finals, tests, maybe pressure of what you're going to do after you're done with school, like for college or a job, or maybe it's the pressure of like a sport you're in, you play basketball, and the pressure of being the best at your sport. But what I think we might all notice is that pressure is a huge part of being a student. Actually, it's a huge part of being a person in general. But many of you are probably familiar with the words stress and anxiety. Would you guys agree with that? These are words you're familiar with. We use them kind of casually when we're talking about like what to wear Friday night. Like I'm stressed about what to wear. Or what movie you're going to go see. Or whether you're going to hang out with this friend or not. We use them, we throw it around a lot. But the crazy thing is, we experience it in so many different areas of our life. We don't even notice it. It becomes almost second nature, this idea of stress and anxiety. And, a lot of times you got to wonder, is what I'm dealing with, is it anxiety? Or is it just a little bit of stress? Or is this normal anxiety? Or is it a little overboard? Or, do I need to get help? Or is it something I can figure out on my own? There's a lot of different things. I want to share with you, think about cars. Do we have any people driving cars in here?
Vroom, vroom.
That's right, we got some car drivers. So whenever you are low on gas, what does your car do when you're low on gas?
Bing, bing, bong, bong.
It'll beep at you. At very minimum, a light will come on your dashboard that'll say, hey buddy, you should go fill up your car.
Yeah, we ignore that.
Yeah, exactly. So, or sometimes it will beep at you whenever you're low. So, our cars know whenever they are stressed. They tell you when there's a problem, and you know exactly what the problem is most of the time, whether you do or a mechanic might. But your cars give you warning signs. So the question is, do we have warning signs as human beings for our anxiety? Do we have warning signs for our stress? So, the answer is no, we don't. Like, we don't have clear ones. It's not as easy as a light coming up on our board. We have to figure out what those are for us. And so today we're going to talk about anxiety. So this month we've been talking about kind of harder questions. We've talked about divorce. We've talked about consent. Today we're talking about, and how consent is the bare minimum, right? What do we strive for? We strive for honor in our relationships. But today we're talking about this idea of anxiety. I know it's something that most of you, if not all, have dealt with at some point in your life. I know for sure you've dealt with stress. 100%. We've all been stressed at some point. So what I want to do is understand the importance of, there's not like a user-fits-all version of how to handle anxiety. What works for you might not work for your neighbor. What works for you now as a high schooler might not work for you whenever you're in college, or whenever you're married, or whenever you're parenting. What works for you now as a middle schooler might not work for you when you're in high school. So there's not a one-size-fits-all way to handle stress or anxiety. That's just not, we're all different people. We all have different ways. So I'm going to give you a few resources today to maybe help a little bit in that area of stress and anxiety. But first I want us to talk through, let's define these two words. Stress and anxiety, because they're two different things. Stress is specific. You have a test coming up, so you're stressed about it. You have a big game coming up, so you're stressed about it. You have a date coming up, and you're stressed about it. So stress is a specific thing coming up in your life. Now, the nice thing about stress is when that event is done, the stress usually leaves. If it doesn't leave, then that's when we start talking about what anxiety looks like. Anxiety is not specific. Anxiety is more like a reaction to your world as a whole. It's not just like one, it's not a test coming up, it's how you look at the world. And if you generally just feel uneasy, or there's a fear that doesn't go away, even when your stressful circumstance is gone, that's when we start getting into the realm of anxiety. So anxiety is something that is some of you all deal with. And contrary to what some of you may think, stress and anxiety are can actually be positive things. So stress is good for you in the sense that it helps you get things done. If you did not have a deadline to be stressed about, you might not get the thing done. Now, you can stress too much, obviously. But in general, there is a healthy amount of stress you can add to your life that will help you. So stress, but also anxiety, the same part of your brain where anxiety comes from is the same part of your brain where your fear comes from, which tells you when you're getting ready to get attacked by a bear. All right? Or whenever you see a bus coming in, you're in the middle of the street, you got to get out of the way. That fear in your mind that your body tells you, hey, be on guard, that's the same part of your brain where anxiety comes from. So to say all that, there is some positives of them. But anxiety comes with a bigger problem because a lot of times it will stick around well beyond and way too long. And so the problem with anxiety is it's good in the sense of it helps get you on your guard. If there is a thing that you should be scared about, your body will tell you and you will be more heightened, your senses will be more heightened. The problem with anxiety is when it stays with you too long, it will drain you. So just think about this. One of the most stressful jobs, what would you say is one of the most stressful jobs in America?
Qdoba.
Not Qdoba.
Retail.
Retail. Parenthood. Parenthood's stressful. Law enforcement stressful.
President.
So that's the one I was going to talk about.
What's president?
You won 50 points. So
Where are these points going?
the points don't matter. So the president is one of the most stressful jobs. And what I want to encourage you to do is look online, like you can go and Google it, looking at what the guys look like when they get inaugurated as president and what they look like just 4 years later after that job. Yes.
Excuse me, Mr. Sir. I didn't say president.
What did you say?
President.
President.
Oh, sorry.
I did it.
President. But the president's job is super stressful. They're on guard. They have so much on their plate, and you will see how it has aged them physically. What they like, if you look at Barack Obama when he was president, when he first got elected as president. He looked like a very young, mid-40s, late 40s guy, which he was, but when he finished, he looked like he was probably like in his 60s because of how much stress and anxiety happens with that job. So the whole point is anxiety can be physically harmful to you if it sticks around for too long. If you feel stuck in the same place. Are you seeing those pictures?
He got so many more wrinkles.
He got way more wrinkles. His hair went gray. Like they look so, and that's how all presidents, they all
I don't know who
age.
this guy is, but dang.
Yeah, so
They hit him hard. Trump looks nice.
So in this idea, anxiety is not helpful. That's when it starts to become a problem. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So the question is, what do we do about it? If you feel anxious almost all the time, what are your options? As a middle schooler, as a high schooler?
This guy got better.
Someone got better. So for the next few minutes, we're going to take a look at the Bible, because that's what we turn to when we want to have questions answered. So the idea of anxiety is not a new thing. Just so you guys know, anxiety is a human problem. There's been people that have been anxious and struggle with anxiety from the beginning of mankind. It's something that some people have always dealt with and struggled with. It's not a new thing. And so what I want to do is we're going to look at how it has affected someone in the Bible. So in the book of Psalms, it's one of my favorite books. It's got tons of stuff. It's got tons of poetry and songs.
Dr. Seuss?
No. Psalms.
It's the Dr. Seuss of the Bible.
So the book of Psalms is written, a lot of them were written by David, King David. We know him as David, the Goliath slayer, blah, blah, blah. He became king. So David wrote a lot of Psalms. And this psalm that he wrote in Psalm chapter 56, he actually wrote this when he was had been arrested, had been contained, was under the captivity of the Philistines. So he was a king. He gets taken over, and he is in a place where, looking back on it now, we know that he's okay. We know he gets out of this. But you got to think in that moment, he didn't know. He didn't know, so he writes this when he is stuck in a place where he does not know if he's going to be okay or not. So these are the words that David says in Psalm 56. It's almost like a journal. It's almost like this psalm is David's like, hey, here's what's going on in my life right now. I want to write it down. He says, be merciful to me, my God, for my enemies are in hot pursuit. You guys seeing this? Fear is in there, maybe some stress.
Some Top Gun.
All day long, they press their attack. My adversaries pursue me all day long. You guys notice he said all day long twice there? He's so stressed out. There's so much going on. He emphasizes just how much there is going on in his life right now. It makes sense that he'd be stressed out right now. It makes perfect sense that he would be stressed because he is dealing with a life or death situation. So here's the important thing I want you to get at. So here's a tool. If you're dealing with anxiety right now, stress right now, there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different things you can do, but something that we can all do right now that can be a little bit beneficial for us is the first thing to do is we want to name what is stressing us out. One of the biggest problems we have whenever we're anxious or we're stressed is we don't know what's causing it. And it makes it a lot more difficult to try and get a handle on it. So the first thing you do is name it. I am stressed because my parents are fighting at home. It stresses me out when my parents disagree and they fight at home and I come home to a house that's that. I am stressed because it seems like we don't have very much money. All right, so name what that stress is in your life. That is the first thing to do. But we're going to keep going and see what David's going to give us a little more advice here in Psalm 56, verse 3. He says, when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. In God, whose word I praise, in God I trust and am not afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? So you see what David did here. He moved the focus from his problem, the Philistines attacking him, and he focused his trust in God. His circumstances did not change. That's important to understand. Whenever he wrote these words, the Philistine army did not just turn around and stop pursuing him and stop chasing him and stop trying to kill him. That did not change. His situation didn't shift, but his perspective did. His perspective shift. School for you is a reality. It's not going to change. You're going to go to school. You're going to have tests. You're going to have relationships where someone burns you. You're gonna have a friend that's gonna leave you high and dry, that's gonna be mean to you. You're gonna have parents that argue. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be times where your parents or someone you look up to in your life argue. Those things don't just go away. And when life doesn't change, there's one thing that we can trust in, and that's God. So let's put it this way, really simple, easy to put. I think we can put it up here on the little wall for us right there. Yep. Whenever you are anxious, there's three things that you can do. First, it's the what. Name it. This is your what. Then it's the why. Explain why it stresses you out. And then the final thing we do is who. So what, why, and who. So let's give a very practical example for you. Say you are stressed because your parents are fighting at home. A lot. You see them arguing a lot. That is a stress. That's anxiety. What it is that. Why does that stress me out? Why does that make me anxious? Because I feel like when I come home I gotta walk on eggshells. Because there's so much disagreement, there's so much hostility. My home is not a safe place anymore. I feel like that they only care about, I feel like they're gonna get maybe a divorce. It's struggling with this. Maybe the stress, why it stresses you out, why it makes you anxious, is because you're looking at them going, they talk about and fight amongst themselves, they don't even care about me as their child much. I don't feel like I care to them. So that's the why. So then what's the who? The who is God. God will never change. When our circumstances are awful around us, the best thing to do is point to someone that doesn't change, and that's God. So we can go, all right, hey, the who is God. I'm stressed because of this. But you know what? Even though I don't feel welcome in my home right now because I don't feel I care for, I have a God who does care for me. You guys see that perspective being changed?
Is the who always God?
Huh? Yeah, always. That's what you want to do. Is that so? What I'm trying to give you is a resource.
Because I had a different answer.
Well, you
The
can.
who was the parents because the parents were the problem.
But the parents might still be the problem if they don't change. Then that's why you want to depend on the one thing that never changes.
I didn't know the who was the dependent.
Yeah. So the who here is God. So name the what, state the why, and then shift your focus and name the who, which is God. Name who God is in your life. And this can be just a simple resource, and that's what I want you to understand today. This is just one way for you to maybe help answer. And so what I want to do is get you to shift your perspective. Where instead of being anxious and immediately your heart starts racing, you can't sleep at night. It feels like when you're laying in bed, you're running on a treadmill because your body is racing that much because you're that anxious. Instead of focusing on that, start to work on naming what it is, name why it's stressing you out, and then focus on God, the unchanging God. And that's what I want, that's our big takeaway for the day, is that there are tools to take on anxiety. Don't try and do it all by yourself. If there's one thing you hear today, when you are anxious, I want to tell you, don't try and do it all by yourself. It might work, but it probably won't if you try and handle it and tackle it all by yourself. Because the important thing about anxiety is there are tools. There are tools, whether it's a counselor at school, a guidance counselor, or maybe it is a parent, maybe it's one of your small group leaders here at church, maybe it's one of the pastors, maybe it's a coach of yours. You have people in your life that care about you and want to help you through these problems and these struggles that you have. And I want to encourage you that there are tools. Don't try and handle it by yourself. Use the tools, use the resources God has put in your life. The family and friends that care about you that want to help you through those times. Because it's not okay to just live with anxiety that will hold you back all the time. It's not okay to live with it all the time. And we all at some point have struggled with stress. But the thing is, and we're not trying to guilt anyone here because most of us have struggled with anxiety before at some point. And so there's not any type of that here. What I'm trying to say is we know that it's not healthy for us, and so we want to move past it. And so what I want to say now before we wrap up is that when you go to your small group here in a little bit, I want to let you know that your leader's not going to say, if you start sharing some things that you're anxious about, they're not going to say, well, get over it. Have more faith. You should just have more faith.
Pray more.
Your leader's not going to say, just pray more about it. You can just pray more. It'll be fine. God will take care of it for you.
sleep on it.
Your leader's not gonna say, you know what, that's not that big of a deal, really. You should know what it's like being an adult.
Honey, that's not my problem.
Yeah. So my point is the leaders that are here have taken the time and they care about you and want to help you know that this is a safe place. And one way that I want to show that, Elizabeth, are you ready? So one way I want to show you that it's a safe place is Elizabeth. You guys know Elizabeth probably, right?
Who?
Elizabeth G.
Okay.
Anxiety is something that's close to her heart because she wants to help people that are dealing and struggling with that. And so I want to give her a couple minutes here to share some stuff that she has learned in her time dealing with it personally and trying to help people through it as well. So Elizabeth, come on up and let's hear what you got to say and some stuff you got for us. You can stand, you can sit, whatever you'd like to do.
I think this is the chair been built.
Yes, it is. They're all that way.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I've been dealing with anxiety for a little while now. It was probably 8th grade, 7th grade, I can't remember.
And
but
she's a junior now.
yes, I am a junior now, so that shows you a little bit something. But I just really, honestly, everybody has anxiety, whether you have it on a low level or a super high level. But anxiety is yet a word that is thrown around a lot, and that stigma around mental health. But and I think just the thought around it is that it has to be bad to be seen, and it doesn't have to be at all. But I mean, it gives you superpowers that you didn't even know you had. With anxiety, I've gained mind reading. I think I know what everyone is thinking all the time, and that's just not good. Because everybody loves superpowers and everybody loves superheroes, but these superpowers just aren't. They're not it. So there's mind reading, there's invisibility. You could be in a room full of people and you could feel like you're the only one there. Or there's super speed, where you feel like you have to stay up with everybody's speed, and you just don't have the energy for that. And whether you're feeling that or not, everyone does on a low level, but it's definitely something that you will get through. A lot of people say that, it gets better, and a lot of people say that, but when? It will. Even though I haven't hit that point yet, that's okay. It'll get there. What else was I gonna say? But I mean, I can say that, but there are some ways that I dealt with moments or periods of time. I always have my mindfulness techniques. If you're in a moment where you're just super anxious, there's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that I use. It's 5 things that you can see. So if I look around the room, I can say I see a fire hydrant, I see 2 dogs, I see a projector, the exit sign, and the ceiling. That's 5 things that I see. And then I can say 4 things that I can touch. So I can touch my pants, I can touch my chair, I can touch the air, and then 3 things that you can smell, 2 things that you... Yeah, I only named 3, but you named 4.
I think you can understand that.
Yeah, and then 3 things you can smell, and then 2 things you can taste, and yeah, it's just it combines all your senses together. And then always just remember that there are people around you to help you, but you're the only person that's going to be with you the whole time. And so to have techniques to deal with it is good. So thank you for coming to my ramble.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. It's good to hear. So that, I'm an old guy. I get it. I'm 31. I'll be 32 in a couple weeks. So I'm getting my cane for a birthday present, a walker. But I know it's sometimes it's really good to hear from teenager students that are your age. And so, Elizabeth, I thank you for being vulnerable and sharing some of the stuff you did, some of the resources you've used. Maybe that's something that can help you. Maybe that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because what some of the best things to do is to try and get yourself out of that headspace just for a little bit, so you can see the good in life. And so, what, for example, with my kids, sometimes what I do whenever they are stressed out and anxious and they're freaking out about something, sometimes I'll literally just take their hand and walk around our house. Because just removing them, and they get to a point when they don't even know what they're mad about anymore. They don't know what they're frustrated about anymore. And they are just upset. And so sometimes just removing yourself from that situation can help. And so it works with my kid. And I know it can some, so whether it's this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whether it's the what, why, and who, something that you can do that can help you when you are anxious, when you are struggling with anxiety, so you don't have to be stuck there. Because that's the thing, we don't want you to be stuck in that place, because you are not who you want to be when you're stuck in that place. You can be greater than that. You can be better, and sometimes that's holding you back. And so that's why we're here. We're not, like I said, we're not here to shame anyone dealing with it. We're not here to shame anyone, just like we weren't shaming anyone whose parents are divorced. Just like we're not shaming anyone who struggles with this idea of consent. Just like next week we're not going to be shaming anyone about racism. Like these topics that we're talking about, we're not there to shame, we're there to talk about them in a healthy church environment where you know that it's a safe place, where we know we can turn to God for answers. And ultimately I want you to know that whether you're in a place where you're anxious, know that there is a God who cares about you and is deeply passionate about what is best for you. And so that is why us leaders take our time here to be with you, to help you see that. So we're going to close with a prayer, and then we're going to head off to our small groups. God, I thank you for the advice you've given us through Elizabeth, through David in the Bible. I just am grateful for the words they gave us, that they used, the tools they used to handle their anxiety and their stressful situations. I pray that if there are kids, there are students here that are struggling with that they know that there is a safe place to go, that there are tools available for them. And I just pray right now that you can help us get out of those ruts, get out of those stuck places, so we can be the people you want us to be, so we can thrive, so we can be great leaders, so we can be great athletes, so we can be great people that just love people and care about people the way you want us to. It's in Christ's name I pray. Amen. All right, guys, we're going to head off to small groups now. We can say bye. We're going to go offline. So bye-bye. There's the camera. It's right there. You can say bye.